Morning, everybody. It's Friday. It's actually a really dreary Friday here. You can kind of see outside. Maybe not so much. But anyway, it's supposed to be raining here all day. So it's kind of a strange Friday. Didn't kind of expect that. But I wanted to talk to you today about celebrating when everything is going wrong. Maybe the weather is supporting me in my theme for the day. But anyway, so I think it's very easy to get very lost in the moment of everything's wrong. What the heck? Like, why aren't I getting what I want? It's not following the timeline that I want. And it's easy to jump on that wagon of like, this sucks. I'm sad. I don't understand why that they didn't call me back for an interview. I don't understand why I didn't get that job. I would have killed it in that job. All of those things are very easy to be able to say when it feels like nothing's going right. But one of the things that I realized is it's usually an opening for a much more amazing opportunity that at least for me when I go through those woe is me, I'm not seeing that there's something bigger around the corner because I don't physically see it, or I haven't heard about it yet. And I'll give you an example from my life that was like a really powerful example, where I was like, okay, I really need to give this up in my career because it's a lot of energy being put in a direction that really won't get me very far. Like, it's okay to be upset for like a little bit, but to be upset for a prolonged period of time over a job that doesn't want you as their candidate, I mean, it's not going to change anything, right? So like, experience your experience, feel the sadness from it, but then it's time to move on and realize that something better is around the corner. And that's what you celebrate when you're in that moment of everything's going wrong. Celebrate the fact that like something's coming, right? Something's coming, like the West Side Story song. So my example of this was when I was in graduate school. I applied for an internship at the New York Fed. So my graduate school is a 2-year program, and in between the 2 years, a lot of people do internships. And I was really hoping to get this internship because oftentimes they offer a job on the back end of the internship if you do well in the internship. This was very exciting to me. I thought like, oh, this would be great. Then I wouldn't have to worry my second year, and I could just enjoy my second year in grad school. And so I was like really, really convinced that I wanted to do this internship. And I applied along with many other people from my graduate school. And I didn't even hear back for an interview. And then I found out all of a sudden that a bunch of people had received internship offers. And I just remember how upset I was. It was a Friday. My graduate school was doing a happy hour, which we do every week there. And I just like was down in the dumps. And I think there was like a specific event that night too. And I was like really out of sorts, not paying attention at all to the event, whatever it was. And it was like people being funny and silly, and like people were laughing around me. And I was just like, bleh. Like I was just not into it. And, what I didn't realize was coming around the corner instead was an opportunity to work for the bank supervisor of Colombia, the country. I didn't know it at the time, but like that was what was in store for me. And I couldn't get out of my being sad enough to realize, you know what, something better is going to come along. And it was such a great opportunity because like I could go live in New York probably whenever, right? And I actually ended up getting a job at the New York Fed the next year, a full-time offer. So funny enough, like I didn't need that internship in order to get that job. But I did get a summer, three full months of being in Colombia, meeting people, spending time working on my Spanish, getting a lot of exposure to bank supervision from a different perspective, and writing an 80-page paper for the top bank supervisors of Colombia, the country. And so I got a really cool experience to travel the world and work somewhere else and see a different place and get to know them. And obviously I didn't know that at the time that people were receiving offers for internships at the New York Fed, but I couldn't, the amount of energy that I put into being sad, the amount of time I spent sad, which was like much longer than it should have been, probably like at least a month or so, or a couple months, I was really upset about that. Um, it just wasn't worth the energy or the time to do that because in the end I landed a great job after grad school. I had an awesome experience the summer between my two grad school years with an awesome internship, and I just like couldn't get out of my stuff. And so today I really want to encourage you to take the time that you need to be in your stuff, but also acknowledge what is this in the grand scheme of your life? What is this in the grand scheme of your happiness? You know that you'll find happiness again. And I think it's harder for us when we're in that space of like sadness to believe that happiness is going to come around the corner. But, you know, all states of feeling are like weather. They like come and pass over us, and then another feeling comes up. And so I strongly encourage you to find the place where your sadness can end so that your happiness can begin again. And embrace that happiness. Know, celebrate the fact that something more exciting is on its way, because something inevitably exciting will always be on its way. And it's so much more fun to be in the energy of something's exciting around the corner rather than, man, I'm really upset about the thing that just happened, which is entirely what I did. And what I imagine you've done before too, because we're human and it's what we do. And this video is meant to be an interruption for you to think about where in your life are you allowing for that sadness to happen. Is it your career? It could be other areas of your life too. You know, this doesn't just apply to your career, but there is a power that you have of removing the negative energy from your spirit when you are in your job search mode, when you are looking for that next position, and when you are ready to focus on the possibilities in your future rather than what has happened in the past, your mind will clear. You'll have more space, more energy to do what you need to do to get that successful job or internship or whatever, what have you, that you want. But it's really hard to do when your mind is cluttered. And that's not to say rush yourself through your experience. Don't rush yourself, but acknowledge where you can start finding joy again and how you can celebrate in the moment of where everything's going wrong. Find things to celebrate because that will help you move forward out of the state of sadness and into a state of joy. And I can't wait to see what you create. I'd love to hear any stories that you have around this. Put #celebration and tell me your stories, your similar stories to this, because it's cool to hear different people's stories about these kinds of things. I love you guys. Bye.